And good morning and welcome to Quilt Chat. Well, we've got some great topics for our program today.
We do, yes we do. I'm super excited.
Are you?
Because people are starting to receive the March issue.
Oh, mine came yesterday.
Of AQ, and I am always so pleased to get, you know, whenever a new issue comes out. It's really exciting. This morning we have actually one of the samples, or one of the finished products of the one of the articles that will be in the March issue. Do you remember when Kathie Kerler won first place in the Spring Paducah this past year with a quilt called Z is for ZINNIAS, C is for Cosmos? Well, we asked Kathie to make a more user-friendly, doable, reader-friendly version in a small wall hanging. So this is what Kathie created for us, and the pattern is in the March issue.
And the quilt that won had a whole big quilt, a big wall quilt full of flowers.
It was. It was a huge version of this, but here's one that you can do. So that's really awesome. We also have some of the articles that are going to be coming up. Timeless Elegance, which is a new quilt by Denise Russell. You'll be seeing a lot of Denise Russell in the next few months, in the next several issues, for sure. We have Beth Ann Nemish wrote an article for us that is about her creative path. We have a gallery of exhibit quilts that are fabulous.
Those were so gorgeous.
Giving you kind of an idea of what you'll see when you come to AQS Quilt Week events. And we have a little quilt called Cookie Cat as well. So for the cat lovers, you'll be excited to see that one. So we're really looking, there are many more things as well. There are more patterns. There are more opportunities to read about things. Renee Merrill wrote about 6 simple steps to long arm or to free motion quilting, which is a really good article teaching you these 6 shapes that you can simply practice, she said. She used to be a piano teacher.
Well, I flipped through the magazine last night, and I really liked the article with Beth Ann Nemish. That was a really nice article, and Renee's article too. You know, you don't think about being a piano player. I was a clarinet player. Same kind of thing.
Same theory.
Same kind of thing.
You start with middle C or something, and go from there. Oh, good for you. You must have taken lessons too.
I was a piano teacher.
This year we have, starting with this issue, the digital version of the magazine is going to be in a flip book, which means it's going to appear on your page as pages that you can flip with your mouse, basically, or your finger, and you'll just be able to just do the little flipping motion to see it just almost like a real magazine on your page.
And so will that have links where you can click on other things too?
You can click on the ads. You can click anywhere that there is a link mentioned. You'll be able to tap it or click it with your mouse, and it'll take you, it'll open a new page where you can go to whatever you're looking for.
And for those that will miss that PDF.
We do, we're working on
they just use the print option.
The print option, yeah, we're working on real detailed instructions for that because
that'll be good.
Different people get to it in different ways. Depending on the version, the browser, whatever. So we've got
going to love it.
But you're going to be able to still get a PDF if that's what you want. So it's all fun. We're having a great time.
Good. And you know, something else that we're doing new for our magazine content and all of the member-only content is we have a new area for it. And so if you go all the way to the right side of AmericanQuilter.com along that purple tab at the top, you'll see member-only. You see it on your, right now, circled in green. And if you click that, it'll ask you to log in with your membership, ID and password, and you go in and they're all lots of pictures and of all the different articles.
Patterns, a lot of
patterns. Lots and lots of patterns. Because members have access to all the patterns that we've done. They don't just get their month or their issue or year of issues.
And it's really fun to step back in time and get to see, I mean, it goes all the way back to our PDF era here, which is like 2009, a little before that. And so you can see a lot of the different really cool content. You know, even though you join today, you get to step back in time and get more.
Fun.
And we also have an index, and I only know this because I was looking for it the other day. And so the index is under
American Quilter Magazine, the tab on the left.
They'll find all of the index to be able to go look for a specific article.
That's where you currently find the digital magazine as well.
Okay, all right.
Yes. And then we have something really exciting that we're doing on the blog. Our Quilt 2018 project has February kicks off our next one, and like we did optical illusion last month, this month is landscapes.
Landscapes.
Hey.
Everybody likes landscapes.
Yes. And you know, one of the interesting things was when I was studying about the different style of landscape quilting, it is one of our oldest in the pictorial art. And so whenever the art quilt movement started, actually, I didn't know the answer to that, so I had to phone a friend. And so I called over to the National Quilt Museum. That's a benefit of having them in Paducah, too. And I called over there, and I asked, and they did research for us. And in 1795 is when pictorial art quilts first started showing up in Ireland, England, and the U.S.
That's incredible.
Isn't that incredible?
That's fun.
Well, now Betsy asked me. She came and asked me that question.
Because I thought maybe Bonnie was around in 1795.
Oh, yeah.
No, you did not.
Not quite. Not quite. But I was around in 1985.
There you go.
You know, that was when the AQS show started. So I dug out the first show book from 1985, and lo and behold, we had several quilts in that contest that were landscape-style quilts. Oh.
Yes. Yes, it was so popular down that early time. In 1971, the Whitney Museum of American Arts held a exhibit of quilts that they hung on the wall, and it was the first time that happened. And that was up in New York, and it made the art community really
They took notice, didn't they?
Because it was a crazy concept. It was like crazy art concept of taking your blankets and putting them on the wall. And the art critics really responded positively.
No doubt. That's
so a lot of the fiber artists at the time, they moved into the movement because they found a home with quilters. And the cool thing about the quilting community is they're so accepting of new ideas, and they love new challenges and to take on new things. And so this landscape project is kind of dawning back to those early days whenever landscape quilting first jumped into that art movement way back then.
And maybe this could be, you know, your year to make a landscape quilt.
If you haven't made a landscape quilt, you'll want to try. Just like the optical illusion quilt, they're just fun.
It's
to
fun.
try something completely new and different that's outside of your typical.
It's the kind of quilt that you can start on a design wall or on your floor or your table or wherever, and just sort of do it piece by piece and really use your imagination, like a lot like the one back here.
How do you define a landscape for people that aren't really familiar with that?
Well, according to Bonnie Browning, a landscape quilt is defined as being a scenic picture. It can have people or animals or plants, but those aren't the focus. The scene is the focus. And so any figures are just a little added touch. And so that's what that expert has to say on that.
Yes, well, and the quilt behind us is a quilt that's in my collection. It was made by Pamela Allen from Canada, and she's well known for doing landscape style quilts. And as opposed to what we see in a lot of landscapes that are more like a photograph picture, this one, I believe, she would have worked on her design wall and had put up some pieces and moved some pieces around before she assembled the whole quilt.
Right.
And then, of course, you know, from being a judge, one of the things I always look at is if it has buildings in it, do they stand up? Because even if you have a hill, the buildings are going to stand up and not lean with the hill. Those are some of those kind of fun things that you want to pay attention to.
That's really great. And, you know, in reading about landscape quilts, there was 3 strong things that got repeated again and again. You have to create depth, you have to create distance, and movement. And it's the kind of movement where you sit there and you stare at it and it just feels like you're part of that day. You're part of that environment. And so it like
It pulls you in, right.
It really pulls you in. And you know, one of the interesting things we noticed, Bonnie and I were talking about, excuse me, as we were looking through them from the years, they've changed so much. They've gotten so much more detailed. And the different elements have really come in. It's no longer just your typical sunset, sunrise, landscape picture. It's gotten really
Well, and
intricate.
instead of it just being a scene with a horizon, a lot of the quilters today are doing a landscape that's more close in.
True.
Yeah, to where the images are closer instead of having that horizon line in the sky and the ground. You may not see totally all of that.
And one of the cool things about art quilts is they really are an expression of the creator. And landscape is a way that you can let people view your world.
Right.
Right?
I think
and so it's a neat way to do that.
we have a picture of Joanne Bates' quilt, don't we?
Yes,
There.
we do. This one, and this was Country Roads, and it was the Best Stationary Machine Workmanship Award at an AQS Quilt Week. And we do have a contest. One of our contests has a landscape category, and that is Lancaster. But quilters can enter landscape quilts in any wall category.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it really
Sure.
could go into many of the wall different categories depending on the size and the specific contest you're entering.
That's so wonderful that we have so many different opportunities.
Well, and so speaking of Lancaster, you know, our registration is open for Daytona Beach, Lancaster, and Spring Paducah. And, you know, Lancaster, we filled so many of our classes, we've added some.
Isn't that
Oh, more opportunities. Go back and look.
Yes, yeah, right. We have a trunk show and a lecture by Lisa Callier. And we added a new quilt. Cindy Needham's class is all filled up so quickly that we've added a new Design-A-Rama class with Cindy Needham. So if you ever haven't taken a class or visited with Cindy, boy, you'll learn so much from Cindy Needham. And then, of course, there's a brunch there, and the brunch, I'm going to be the speaker at the brunch this time, and so you'll get to see a trunk show of quilts, and we'll have a nice brunch, too, on Saturday morning.
That's always good.
That's wonderful.
So, well, another day's gone by. Can you believe this?
That
It's
was
already
fast.
gone. Yes, and so we hope you'll join us right here at the same place next week, 11 o'clock on Wednesday.
Bye-bye.